Well, welcome, friends, to episode 40. I can't believe that is possible. 40 episodes in. I want to welcome Trish Blackwell. Welcome to the show. We are going to talk about selling your service with confidence and your confidence in sales while charting your value as a photographer. That's a mouthful, but
It is. It is,
I
Sarah.
cannot wait to dive into this. Um, Usually during the down season, and I say this on a lot of episodes, but during the down season, we need this boost.
Mm,
So even if you need to come back in the down season for 2025, come back to this episode. Um, but yeah,
totally.
Trish, you are the CEO and founder of the College of Confidence and the host of the Confidence podcast. I'm going to have you kind of tell us where you started, where you are now, and kind of tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about those two things.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first off, it's great to meet everyone. Thank you so much for having me on the show, Kara.
Yeah.
I, I don't, so I, let's just put this out there. I'm not a photographer. Okay. I love photography. I have like 63,000 photos on my camera roll. Like, I'm a fan of all the work that you beautiful professionals do, but I'm passionate about great photography. So anywhere my family travels, we hire photographers. My sister-in-law has an incredible photography business. I've helped her build on the confidence side, and I have quite a number of clients
Mm,
who are photographers. I want to put that out there. I am not in the business, but I'm passionate about helping those in the business because I as your client, your avatar person you want to reach, I have so much value in I treasure great photos. And so I sit at the feet of appreciation. So that is that to be said. My work began, oh gosh, 12 years ago. I started a
mm.
podcast. And so I want to commend you. Do you know most podcasters give up after 10 episodes?
Oh, wow. I'm not
They
going to lie. I
stop.
kind of wanted to,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah.
So they give up after 10 episodes, and then so
Oh,
you are already the fact that you're still going is huge. So I'm an OG podcaster, been at it for we are 11 plus years,
mm.
and I started my business literally in my closet because I was trying to get better sound quality at the time. And
Yes.
and then I was pregnant and I was working full time somewhere, and I decided I need to not be I wanted time independence. I wanted
Mm,
location independence. I wanted the freedom to go build the career of my dreams and
yeah.
be a mom who could stay home. Really, for me, travel's my passion. And I was also thinking,
Mm,
well, if I only get 5 vacation days working for this one great company, and now I've earned seven, that doesn't really work with my plans. Like, how do I
mm,
make something where I can travel anywhere I go? And so that was the push that got me going. So I started literally like working my full-time job and growing my business, my idea of a business and this idea of location independence from the
mm,
beginning. And I didn't know anyone who was doing like working for themselves. I had really was just sort of like, let me figure this out. When I got pregnant with my daughter, who is now 9 years old, I said, okay, I'm all in. And so the last 9 years of my journey have been like, how do I scale a business? And how do I help people do the same? But the whole way I landed on confidence is on the outside. I'm that type A Division 1 full scholarship athlete, the girl next door, the girl who was friends with everybody, president of the student body. I was that kid because I like people, except I
mm,
didn't like myself. So on the
mm.
outside, I was this like everyone thought I was the happiest, most outgoing, most confident person. And I found myself in high school and then in college and then in adolescent or like young adolescence going, I have so much anxiety, so much insecurity, and I don't have a way to talk about it because I'm what people want to get to, and they don't know that I'm massively insecure. I feel like I'm pretending all the time,
Yeah.
right? So, massive imposter syndrome. And that's what got me passionate about the content of confidence itself. Because I was like, wait a
Mm,
second, we're really good at pretending, but what is real confidence? And so that's what really just went me down the rabbit hole of I feel called to help, especially women like me, driven, visionary, like go getter, put pressure on yourself, be really have tough on yourself, but nice to everybody type of people. Cause I'm like, oh my
yeah.
gosh, when you take that type of avatar, that type of doer, that type of go getter, and then take the anxiety and the self induced pressure off of her, she
Oh, yeah.
10x's her impact, her income. She
Mhm.
posts crazy on like she's not overthinking spending an hour on an Instagram reel because afraid somebody might what somebody might think, right? Like we just go like,
Mhm.
when we really step into true authentic confidence, like I get where we take these doers in the world and then you just anything becomes possible. So that's how I got to where I'm at. Where my business is at is I went from thinking maybe we can get some extra income to pay for diapers to now my income is 3 times of what my husband's is. And I just went to
Amazing.
spend the month in Paris with my kids, working from there. We are living the
Oh
dream that
my goodness.
started. And I just say that because it took one vision, and I believe this is available to anybody. It takes vision, it takes the courage and the confidence to believe that that's not just crazy. Like it's not crazy
Mhm.
talk. People like you do
Yeah.
things like that. And then it takes the confidence and the courage to show up every day when it doesn't feel like it's working. And you're like, and I thought that person was going to buy from me, but they didn't. Okay, well, how do I pivot? It's just like, are you willing to be unwilling to give up? And so I just love talking about those two things. So you'll hear me
Yeah.
today in our conversation. I've typically mentioned confidence and courage together because I think they're besties.
Oh,
When you
yeah,
level up
for
one, you
sure.
level up the other, right? Vice versa. So that's
Mhm.
that's the the aerial view of where I started, where I'm at, and why I love confidence. But and then again, as I said in the beginning, why I love photographers. Because I think the
Yeah.
impact for great photography and great time freeing, whatever your vision for your business is possible. But I know so many great photographers who tiptoe. And I'm like, no, like
Mhm.
you underappreciate the value and the beauty and I mean, you can't see, but behind here, like that's from my sister-in-law. I'm like, that is the most precious
Aw.
photo to me of my baby when she was a baby. Like, I think it's easy to get lost in the growing of your business and like, I've got a
Yeah.
new client and photo shoot and how do we scale this and all. And I like that part of the business too, getting creative and strategic.
Mhm.
But, how about the fact that a photo session 9 years ago still fills my heart with absolute joy when I
Mm.
can see it in the reflection. Like, I
I
think
love that.
on the other end, y'all for not that I'm generalizing, I think it'd be easy to forget the true value of the art you
Mhm.
put in the world and the way you service your clients.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times photographers they seem confident on the outside, and I know I've
Mm,
been there too, and then when they share their work, there's a big insecurity that comes out of play that no one sees, but they're like, "Do you like it? Do you not like it?" And then if there's
please like it.
anything said at all about it in a, like some kind of criticism, even if it's constructive, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to quit. Like I can't do this
Yes.
anymore."
I
And
can't keep the drama, the client and we just over
yes.
personalize one it
Yes.
could have been maybe even just a neutral comment. "Hey,
Yep.
could you change the way that this is edited?"
Yes. And that is so like it is the norm. And I feel like
Mhm.
there are some out there that excel and they can push that aside. And I can usually, but I mean, it's, I don't know, it's our art. And so we're insecure
Right?
about it and we want everyone to love it. I mean,
Want
we know when we've
everyone.
messed up or there's something I mean, we can always grow on something. Like if it
Mhm.
was a perfect world where like this could have happened. But I do feel yeah, I feel like we do. We have that insecure moment, those insecure
Yeah.
moments. And then, I mean, it's good to have someone to have a sounding board for that. But
Yes.
still, you hit the nail on the head there.
Well,
It
and Carrie, you brought
definitely.
up something that I wanted to convey to photographers. I tell my sister-in-law this, I tell every photographer I hire. Um, the gift of confidence that you give people is so
Hmm.
valuable. Being able to in your marketing and in your when you
Hmm.
meet with them to go, my job is that you are going to feel great with me. And like it is when
Yes.
I've had great photographers, I can feel, again, I have 10 years of an eating, I didn't mention that. I have 10 years of an eating disorder and body dysmorphia and lots of
Mm.
like, hidden insecurity. So me getting in front of a camera, well, if you looked at my Instagram, you'd be like, all right, she clearly has no problems. What you don't know is I had 10 years or 15 years of really deep insecurity where I wouldn't even wash
Mm.
my hands in front of a mirror because I would self-criticize so intensely.
Oh man.
So when I sit on the other side of a lens, like, so you're coming with somebody, you have no idea what their history is. But then they're like a small comment of like, oh wow, that position looks so good. Oh no, ooh, oh, okay, got the light. Oh my gosh, girl, wait till you see this photo. Like those little
Yes.
comments that if you're in a good mood, they're coming out freely. You have no idea the lasting impact that makes on your clients. I mean,
Hmm.
even down to I'll even now, especially because we hire photographers as we travel. I go, hey, here's what I'm going to really do well with. Can you just say lots of good things about the photos while you're taking them? And I'm like, I have the confidence to ask for what I want and need, but a lot of people
Yeah.
don't. And I just want to say,
Mhm.
as in general, for those of you who do well at this, like, or who build your clients up in the process, I think you could double your price as a result. Like I am that I put that much
Probably, yeah.
value of the experience and how it will differentiate you from other photographers. Because I see photographers not do it well as well. Like again, I'm the receiving and the customer working with lots of because of travel, so many different photographers.
Mhm.
The ones I would pay double or triple is simply because of the compliments they give me during the shoot.
Well, and that is something I even tell when I have wedding couples. I will
Mm,
say, pick your photographer even if you don't feel it's me, because you want to pick them based on how they make you feel, because you're going to remember more about how you feel when your photo is taken rather than when you look at them and think you look good.
you're
So
so
even if
right.
you
You're
looked
so
so
right.
crappy, you're gonna be like, "That was so fun, and
I
I
felt
love
wonderful.
those moments because I felt great." And it's funny because I've gotten the comment, and I've even had, like, Google reviews where they're like, "She's the ultimate hype girl," and I'm just like, "Am I
Oh, I
taking
can see
it
being I
too
could
far?"
totally
Like
see that. No, that's not too far. Oh, no. If you could be the ultimate hype girl, I think you're landing exactly where you need to
Yeah,
be as far as conveying yourself as a confident photographer and scaling up that client's confidence, and the result
yeah.
is game winning. Like,
Yeah. Well, and I've even been told, because I'm like, is that weird? And they're like, no. And so I've learned over time, being told that many, many times, like,
mhm,
people want that. They don't want that absolute silence. I think there's like this 5-second rule when you're taking photos. If you don't say anything for 5 whole seconds, your clients are going to have all these like thoughts of, am I
yes.
doing this wrong? Do I look weird?
Yes.
Or they're going to move when you wanted them to sit still. And so you, like, by assuring them like, yes, this looks amazing. This looks amazing. You know what would make it even better if you did this, and like kind
Mhm.
of turn it that way and never say, no, that's
100%.
wrong. Because if you say that, you're just going down that negative trail. You want everything in a
Yes.
positive spin. So that is
Yes.
so true when you talk about that positive spin about how you feel. And
It's
I
everything.
think that's great that you advocate for yourself and say, like, make me feel good.
I do. Well, here's the benefit of being a confidence coach, someone who specializes in confidence.
Yeah.
I first out say, hey, we're doing branding photos for my business.
Mhm.
Also, one thing about confidence that many people don't know is there's often a lot of insecurity. So here's
Yeah.
what I'm gonna need. I'm gonna need you to hype me up. I'm gonna need you to say,
Yep.
"Oh, girl, let's switch the angle." And I just give them permission because I'm like, I know that that's gonna create a better experience.
Mhm.
However, when I'm able to coach or mentor a photographer, I'm like, it's giving the same advice you would of like, don't be so confident in your art and in the
Yeah.
customer experience that you don't feel weird. Cause we all do that thing where you're like, oh, have I over complimented? Oh, did they think I'm weird? Am I being, yeah, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, we're like this self doubt of like, and here's what
Mhm.
why? Because we care what they think about us. And you're
Mhm.
like, honestly, anytime you're building someone up, they are always going to think highly of you.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
Period.
I'm like, I could even go as far to say your photos could be awful. And they're still gonna feel, if you made them feel great, they're still gonna be like, these are amazing. They're not gonna be like, your
Yes.
images suck.
Right.
I
Exactly.
mean, there's a fine line there, but even so,
But
like,
you could
um,
play with it.
yeah, but I feel like, it's definitely a game changer when it comes to your clients. But
Mhm.
so let's kind of dive all into the things. I know we kind of want to talk about some of the things that build confidence and all of that. So let's kind of talk about, and maybe this is part of that, a critical need for confidence when growing your photography business.
Yeah. So I think then without confidence, you will do the glamorous part of entrepreneurship and then you'll stop when it gets hard. You'll
Mm.
stop when there's pushback. You'll stop when a
Mhm.
client that you were kind of courting decides not to work with you, and then you see that they have now hired another photographer, and so
Mhm.
we have to be willing to say, all right, confidence as far as entrepreneurship is the key that opens up my next level of success. Because
Yeah.
without it, you won't have the courage to keep going when you fail. And I think that's the thing. Confident people
Yeah.
know that failure paves the way to success. I think aspiring entrepreneurs, the starry eyed, we start, myself included, going, okay, this is the dream. I'm doing it. I'm going to do it and it's going to be
Yeah.
easy and everyone's going to like my stuff and I'm never going to have to want to cry myself to sleep at night or wake up and dread. Like we build a dream. And what
Yeah.
I've realized is the more you're willing to feel all of the feelings, meaning all the uncertainty, all of the shame, the overexposure, the put myself out there and then the disappointment,
Mm.
if you're willing to feel the feelings and you have the confidence to go, these are just feelings. They're indicators, not dictators. They don't mean something's gone wrong. And then with the will and willingness to fail, you can do anything. But to do those two things, you need confidence and courage.
Mm.
And so, and let's be honest, in the world that we live in, it's all. Oh, I'm not saying you can't successfully grow a business without social media presence, but there is a advantage by using what we have at our disposal, which is
Yeah.
and maybe not social media, but even with your website, people want
Mm.
to hire people who they've seen the product, right? And
Yeah.
so putting yourself, whether your photos are, or maybe it's the customer experience, uh, the more you put yourself out there, the more people will see you. And
Mhm.
it sounds so simple. Just post on social media. Just do some reels. Just spend 4 hours editing the 15-second reel that you're going to do of your photo shoot to make it look like it took you 2 minutes. Like it sounds so simple, but girl, it's work. And it's
Mhm.
very there's emotional vulnerability to putting yourself out there, as you already mentioned. And that is why confidence is critical.
Yeah. Well, and I know there's like a lot of so I I mean, I feel like the photography industry is moving into a point where everyone's knowing they need to be seen in their business so that people will
Oh,
hire them, and then it's moving
yes.
into a what defines you as a photographer is you and your personality more than your
Yes.
images. And so
Yes.
I know there's like this constant thing where people are like, I don't feel like I don't want to. I feel awkward. I don't want to
Yep.
go on Instagram and show myself or talk or what. What would you say to somebody
Oh
like
my
that where
gosh.
you're
I'm
like,
so glad you brought this up because that is my sister-in-law. And I've helped her grow the
mm,
business because one, there's ways you can do it without it being massively uncomfortable. We got to find the right
yeah,
comfort level for you. So like when she's doing a shoot and I'm if she's doing minis or I'm there, I
yeah,
do behind the scenes footage for her and then send it to her. She doesn't even ask me. I'm like, "You're welcome." Right? Like showing
love
that
that.
it's a comfortable experience, but really that's to be honest until she's ready to push past that,
Hmm.
her business is a cap. Because you're
Yeah.
right, we want to do business with people. I want to pay people who I know are going to hype me up, which I'm
Yeah.
not going to know if you're going to hype me up until I see your personality. Right?
Hmm.
And so instead of showcasing saying because and let's even look at it this way. There's a reason a lot of photographers choose to be on a certain side of the camera.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
we go like, let's just acknowledge that you've chosen to be on one side of the camera. And in order to grow your business to be on the preferable side of the camera more, you have to get on the other side. And so
Hmm.
I think the willingness to say, it's people are not judging me on my weight, my hairstyle, what my background looks like, if there's kids in the background, if it's messy, if it's professional. They
Mm,
honestly want to know, will you make me feel comfortable?
yeah.
And
Well, and I
and
think
am
a
I going
lot
to
of
spend
times
time with
too,
you?
yeah, I think a lot of times too, when you show up in that real thing, they realize, oh, this isn't fake and not, she's not like perfect. She's more like me.
Yes.
Because if
You
you're going to
create
like,
perfect images.
yes. So like, I was even thinking about like this. I'm like, I'm going to get rid of everything in my office behind me so it's not a distraction. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm going through a purge right now, but
Yeah.
there's times where I'm like, I have a half wall. I want to paint this wall and all this stuff. And I'm like, can I
Yeah.
show that? I'm like, whatever. Nobody
It doesn't
cares.
matter. No one cares. No one
But
cares.
yeah, but I do feel like there has been times where I'm like, do I want to show this image on social media because it doesn't fit my perfect grid? But it's moving
Mhm.
past that to show like I'm relatable. I'm going to show someone that isn't like this perfect thing and let them know, like
Yeah.
let people know they're beautiful too and I can photograph
Yes.
them too. I'm probably going on a tangent here, so I digress. But
No, but
like
again, I really that's why I wanted to talk to you because I wanted to serve your audience in that I'm a consumer who is very I think it's a little unusual that I choose photographers probably 6 times a year. And you'd be like, that
mm,
sounds wrong. But until you know that I travel and it's not like I can't use my sister-in-law. She would be my preferred person, right? Like clearly I'm loyal when I'm local. But
yeah.
in the case that I look at and when I do, I and by the way, how do I find people? I search on Instagram. So we book a
Mhm.
trip to Morocco. I searched on Instagram, Morocco photographers, Moroccan photographers, photography
Mhm.
in Morocco. So I know it's sometimes tedious. And I know as a creator myself or in the coaching world, sometimes you're like, hashtags are dumb. And we get annoyed in our own brain. Please
Yeah.
still use them. Because I can tell you, I've spent thousands of dollars by finding photographers through hashtags. But the ones in particular that I have liked the most are the ones who show more of them. And they're maybe not on their
Yeah.
feed posting like this guy. And here's a little kind of sad part of the story. We ended up canceling our Morocco trip and I had a non-refundable deposit, but I'm going to go back. And so I'm going to hire him again, even though he's like, hey, I can't refund you. And I was like, why? Because I liked his stories.
Mm.
They had the earthquake in Morocco and
Mm.
he showed behind the scenes of him and his brother helping. I donated to the cause. And then when he said, hey, I can't refund your money, I was actually like, you know what? That's good. Cool. I like you as a human. Not only did I
Mm.
love his work was very diverse and you saw, and that was interesting too, to go, this really, I mean, every person he was highlighting was different, which made me as a
Mm.
consumer go, he sees beauty in every body shape, body color, body type,
Mm.
personality, family style. I was like, I like him. Right.
Yeah.
All these stories people are seeing based on your willingness to go, here I am. I like
Mhm.
people and I make them look good. Like
Yeah.
it can be as simple as that.
Yeah. Humanizing
Or
your business. Like, that's the
that's it.
biggest thing.
Or
Yeah.
even how you humanize your business of going, what you drinking? What kind of coffee you like? Like that, even
Yeah.
if you're passionate about any sort of beverage or something, that could be really great marketing for somebody to have confidence in their purchase with you. Simply because you
Mhm.
go, I know nothing about this person, but I know she also likes straight black coffee. We'll get along. I don't know. Like that kind of those are the little
Mhm.
connection points that give people confidence in hiring you, especially that first time customer. The first
Mhm.
time customer is the hardest to secure.
Yep. Yep. I agree. Totally agree. Oh, what that was so good. I'm like, how do you move
Yeah.
on from that?
Yes.
So let's kind of turn to like the income part of it because people are like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, but like, how do I get income?
Right.
so, so how do you feel like the confidence, like the loss of confidence, reduces income, or
Yes.
how can it
Or
increase
scales it.
income? Yeah.
First and foremost, I think there's a massive industry-wide, uh, undercharging happening,
Oh,
right?
sure. Mm-hmm.
So right there, and having consulted my sister-in-law and my other clients who were doing this, when you get down to why, it's always a,
Mm-hmm.
well, I feel bad, or what if I raise my prices and people don't buy? So a
Mm-hmm.
confident photographer says, my work has value. If this is still industry standard, I could charge it too.
Yeah.
Of
Or
course, people are going to pay
that
that.
that photographer is better than me.
Right.
They charge less. How can I raise my prices if their work is
Yes.
better? You know?
And let's be honest, all of this work is subjective. And yeah, I
Mhm.
think you hit the nail on the head about the wedding dress example. Like you can look at a picture and know this could have been a better angle. I wish it was a little bit like this. I wish it was my right side
Mhm.
of my face versus my left side. But you're right. You lock into. I felt so happy. I felt so alive. That photographer made me feel so incredibly beautiful on this like you're just like it's a perfect
Mhm.
picture. In fact, I have a couple pictures like that from an engagement session, and it was a friend from college who has a photography business, and she was like God's gift to hype girls. Like, and I'm like, we were
I
walking, and
love it.
I literally in the photos with her, she made me feel like my husband and I were the most attractive couple to ever walk Earth. Like, and we are not, right? I think we're a good looking couple, but we are not that.
Yes.
But she made me feel that. When I look at those pictures, I'm like, yep, that feeling is conveyed. And
Uh-huh.
so one, I think having confidence as a photographer is in knowing that your brain, because you are wired to be a go-getter. Of course, your brain is going to go, where do I compare? But we have to have the courage to stay in our lane and go, my work is incomparable to others.
Mhm.
Because it's not just the work, the final product, which again, we also know is subjective. It's the absolute full experience of how I make somebody feel. And
Yeah.
so people pay for what they feel. Like I'm in the world.
Mhm.
You guys are lucky. You're in the world where you sell something.
Mhm.
I'm selling a feeling. I sell confidence. Like I teach people confidence. So, but there's value in that. People pay me
Mhm.
thousands and thousands of dollars to and so there is value in a feeling. There is scalability and income in a feeling. And so you aren't just selling photos. You're not just selling a photo shoot clearly, but you are selling the entire experience
Mm.
and the memories.
Oh, for
And
sure.
so a confident photographer knows that and wouldn't even question their raising their rates or I really think asking yourself, what do I want to charge for my work? And we do need to
Mm.
be honest. Am I experienced enough? Have I honed my skills enough in whatever area of photography that I do
Mhm.
believe I'm worthy of that level, right? We don't want to
Yeah.
be brand new and be like, "Oh, I'm the most expensive photographer." I think that would be it's unwise. Like where you do
Yeah.
your work, be committed, so committed to be absolutely excellent at your craft.
Mhm.
And that even I think that personal commitment, wherever you are, whether you're first year in your photography business or 12th year, you can even have confidence in the fact that you are more committed to the craft of excellence within your work, which doesn't just mean editing. It doesn't just mean the shoot experience. It means how do I make someone feel? How do I make them
Mm.
feel so good? Because that's where referrals come from. I don't think referrals come from the end product. I think they come from the photo shoot experience.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
That's where I get a lot of mine from weddings because it's like family members are watching
Yeah.
me on a wedding day, and I feel like I'm tooting my own horn all day.
Yeah, do it.
But like
Called
I
confidence,
get a
baby.
lot I get a lot of feedback from family members of like,
Yeah.
yeah, she was amazing. And literally when I in my galleries I put like leave a review, and as
Yes.
soon as those family members go in there, I'm like, family members can leave reviews too. And they go on there and they don't even talk about
Awesome.
like the images. They haven't even seen them yet. They just talk about what it was like to work with me.
That's
So like
amazing.
that's the kind of stuff where you're like, yeah, I want that, you know?
So, well, when you brought up a point with these reviews, one area I see people failing massively on income potential
I
that
think I know where
requires
you're going with
confidence
this.
is asking for the review,
Mhm.
asking for the testimonial.
Yeah.
And then I want to remind you, it takes 3 seconds of courage, but you might get it's the testimonials that will sell your business. So one, we're missing
Mhm.
out on, well, one asking for testimonials or reviews. I love what you even if at a wedding experience, welcoming the attendees to leave reviews, brilliant idea.
Yeah.
But then also asking directly for referrals. I've coached people where they say, "Well, I want to look like I'm more booked than I am because that makes me feel more confident. I feel bad if I'm asking for referrals. People are going to think I
Mm.
quote unquote need the business." Well, of course, we all need the business. There's nothing there. A confident person says, "I always love new business. Thank you so much for the referral." Right? Like,
Yeah.
like I'm always like I'm passionate about helping new people. I'm passionate about creating
Mhm.
a beautiful experience. So
Yeah.
asking for a referral, huge. And then of course
Yeah.
the testimonials. And I think it's on everyone's to-do list that gets
Mm.
pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And I think at the end of the day, you have to say, which do I want more? Do I want to be comfortable or do I want to make money?
Mhm.
And that is for me, the question has helped me grow my business.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely something where you have to think like it is a business. And I know there's a lot of
Period.
people they're like, "Oh, I want to help people like this and I want to help people like that." And there is opportunity for that, but you also got to eat.
Well,
So it's
can we
like,
bring this up? Too many
yeah.
photographers give free shoots to their
Oh my gosh.
friends and family members. I want to be very clear. I pay my sister-in-law. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I want to pay full price. And she did not want, she fought back with me. And I was like, woman, like I'm coaching you in your
Mhm.
business because I love you. And I want,
Yeah.
honestly, what's my motivation there? I want her and her family to be able to have the money to travel with me and my family. So that's my
Yeah.
motivation. Stop giving stuff away for free.
Oh, we could go down a rabbit hole with that one.
But
Oh,
I get it.
yeah.
And no, I'm not saying
Mhm.
that you can't have a friend if you're more comfortable having a friends and family, right? That you could, but
Yeah.
confidently know ahead of time.
Mhm.
This is not a
Yeah.
hobby, it's a business. And I think that's the other thing. I think when you're not charging what you're worth, when you're not asking for testimonials, and when you're not, I think I've also seen people let payments lag or give discounts unnecessarily
Mm.
because, well, money's hard for people. The recession, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There are lots of people with lots of money.
Mhm.
There's more than
Or
enough.
or they find potential clients. So this is one maybe you can speak into a little bit where they have a potential client and they're so worried about not having business, they're like, "Well, I can give them a discount because I
Yes.
really want to book them and business is slow right now." What would you say to that?
Oh my gosh. Well, I would say that you are doing no one a service because you're making your service sound cheap And then you're ruining any referrals that that person could give you because now you're going to have to lock into that lower price.
Yeah,
But
especially
one,
when they say, like, "They gave me this price, I bet you could get it too," you know?
yeah,
'Cause you're not
you
being
have to ask
consistent.
you have to ask yourself what type of client do I want?
Mhm.
And I would recommend to think more expansively and realize people respect people that say, "Yeah, we just don't do discounts." But I don't say we fault the person for asking. So let's say said potential client says, "Hey, is there any way you could discount that price?" And to answer back, "No, this is our set price. We're actually, you have a set thing that you say. We're actually below industry standard. Um, but I really can't adjust these prices, or these are the prices. These are going to be rising, because you probably are undercharging." And you say, "I'm sorry, but I totally understand." When you say, "I totally understand if I'm not the right photographer for you because of my pricing,"
Mhm.
it's like a mic drop moment. Because I think the
Yeah.
key to sales, especially when you have somebody on the fence, is to realize. And I actually used to speak, and travel through the country teaching confidence, how to sell with confidence, like for
Mm.
personal trainers. But it's the same concept. There's a client,
Yeah.
they're making a big decision. When you can, from your brain, go, "This person needs me more than I need them,"
Mhm.
you will stay in what we call clean selling. So you can say,
Mm.
"Hey, Sarah, I really appreciate the ask. I told you to ask all the questions. Unfortunately, we don't do discounts. But that said, I understand if you need to get work with a photographer who offers a lower rate.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
in the future,
that's
I'd be so happy to work with you." It's just very, and you will find most
Mhm.
people go the minute you say it. That takes your heart, whether you're typing the email or you're saying it, you're like, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh," and you simply write back. You simply say like, you'll mic drop. And 9 times out of 10, they go, "Oh, well, no. I think that I'll work with you."
Yeah. I
Period.
literally had that
Have you
happen this
seen this
year.
happen? It
Yep.
happens.
Mhm.
It
Yep.
100% happens. And you say it, of course you don't I absolutely understand. I want you to be matched with the right photography for you and the right
Mhm.
budget for you. So if I'm not in the budget and the caliber of our services don't meet your budget, I absolutely understand. And here are 3 people I could refer you to.
Mhm. Yep, that's exactly how that happened for me. Even with the referral, they're like, "Well, no, we want you." And then they were
Yes.
like,
Thank
"I'll
you
come
for
back to it."
validating the experience. And this
Yeah.
works
I was
in
like,
case
"Interesting."
it works in every industry. So, right,
Mhm.
I used to teach this strategy in personal training sales. I teach it
Mm.
now in coaching and online business and life coaching sales.
Yeah.
And you are verifying that it works in photography
Oh, yeah.
sales
Yep, exactly.
because you're unapologetically holding to the standards and your quality and your value.
Yeah. That's just it, for sure, because I feel like a lot of times we're ready to, like, drop our value when we're
Yeah,
unsure or feeling that insecurity in those moments of,
yeah.
"Ooh, like, I don't have a lot of business." And I actually was texting someone right now because it's very dry right now and all my big payments are coming up, and I'm like,
Hmm.
"I'm not booking as many right now as I did last year." Just the wedding season is changing right
Yes.
now, and in the length of, I mean, I'm fully booked for the year, but it's
Yep.
usually you get quite a few bookings. And when you're comparing to yourself the
Yep.
year before, you're just like, "Ooh, I know it'll happen. I know it'll happen." And
Yes.
this happens every year. I got to talk myself
Every
up.
year.
But
That's it. Well, here's what's crazy. We are all often the best hype people for other people.
yep.
Confidence is being able to flip it on yourself and give yourself that hype talk. And I think it can be as simple
Yeah.
as, I love this. I like to call it a power phrase. This is just it's like an affirmation, but I think better because it's shorter and it's like, it's self-talk. It's everything's working.
Mm.
Everything is working. The clients are coming. Now, you're still taking massive action to do the things that are going to
Yeah.
generate more clients and leads. And although there could be weeks, could be months until you see you've planted the seeds. And so when you plant the seeds and you are diligent and you are consistent, because confident people are consistent, confidence business owners are
Mm.
consistent, meaning you still post, you still do the outreaches, whatever your new client acquisition method is, you still do all those things, even if it's dry and you're
Mhm.
planting seeds. You have to, a confident person says, "Dang, I got a lot of seeds planted. I'm gonna keep watering them." Right. And then
Mm.
you
Love
might
that.
get 10 people at one time because you didn't
Oh,
give up.
yeah.
I think, right?
Mhm.
That's the key. But it's like to
Yep.
stay in a place of belief when it's dry, your word is perfect.
Yeah.
That's
I
that's
love I love
confidence.
that you say that because, yeah, we need to push ourselves in that season of like it happens every time, but we are
Yeah.
service based. So when the service is slow, we start to
Yeah.
doubt ourselves. But I love that you say a confident like is a positive and
Hmm.
go from there. So let's kind of like turn it to the flip side of someone whose business is growing.
Oh, yeah.
What are some ways to strengthen your confidence in that? Because I know sometimes that can be super overwhelming as your business is growing and
Yeah.
you're kind of like doubting yourself, like what do I
Yes.
do, and kind of go
So
from there. So,
the first thing I'm going to speak to kind of two different people. There's a one mindset that goes, oh my gosh, I'm so lucky. I hope I get this lucky. It feels like it's a fluke, that their success was a fluke, right?
mm,
Like, um,
yeah.
but I want to remind you the results that you get in your life are never a fluke, right? Like, so those referrals or those people
Mhm.
who just randomly contacted you, that's because you did all of the back work before,
Yeah.
or because the service that you delivered and the results were so good that people referred you. Because I think I've worked with people that go, but I didn't really do anything to get that referral. And that is not true. The results that you've got, the wins that you're getting, you created those. I think to take
Mm,
ownership. But then there's the other mindset that has this fear of like, oh my gosh, I can't keep this up.
mm.
And so we need to go, this is my opportunity. I think that the thought process can pivot that will help is to say, by the way, and then what I forgot to start with, confidence is all how about how you talk to yourself and how you talk to your brain.
Oh,
And
for
so
sure.
when you change that dialogue, that's what a confident person does. An insecure or less confident person just accepts what they're thinking as, yeah, what if I can't keep it up? But a confident mind, a confident entrepreneur goes, wait a second, does that thought help me? Will that get me closer to the goals? No, maybe I should reframe that. And then we
Mm,
say, hey, I wonder if this is my entry point to my next level of business. Who, who do I want to be as a photographer? You reset that vision.
mm,
What do I want my business to look like? How do I want to outsource what and delegate things better? What kind of help do I need to hire on? Do I need to change my ad strategy? Do I want to scale my create a waiting list or a feeder program, or do I want to hire a sub photographer? Like you have to get vision for
mhm,
what you want. And I think the key phrase to say to yourself is, of course I can handle this.
mm,
I was built for success. This business has legs and I'm going to run with it.
mm.
And you can say that and you're in the back of your head, you're
Yes.
still going to panic when you're really confident in any area of your life. I like to think about it as a voice. It's the voice in your
Mhm,
head. But please know that that voice is never at 100%. There's a dial that there's always a self-doubt voice that's low. And
mm,
our job is we want to turn the dial of confidence up and the dial of doubt down. So I'm totally okay if you got 70% of this, like, oh, I got this. And but 30% in the back of your mind is like, well, I don't know, I am a little tired. And what if that doesn't work out? What if I hire somebody and then they suck and then they steal my like blah blah blah, like my intellectual property? And okay, no, you are still confident. I tell people, and I hope this frees somebody today, as long as those two dials, as long as confidence is winning over self-doubt, you're confident enough.
mm.
51 to 49, baby. That's fine. Now, ideally, we'd like it 70, 30, 90% confident, like
Yeah.
10. But I just want to normalize that. I don't think people talk about that enough. And that's why that's why
Mhm,
I'm passionate about the work I do. But it's very normal. You can be very, very confident business owner and still 30% of the time go, oh, what am I doing? Like, I hope this works. That's
Yes.
normal. That's totally normal. It does not mean you're doubting your business. Does not mean you're insecure. What's critical is though that you make that you turn the volume up on the other. You
Mm,
dialed in on the self-talk that's confident.
mm. Yeah, that's good. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up? Because I feel like we could go on forever, but
Mm,
I want to make sure if there's something else that
yeah.
you think photographers want to know in the next 5 minutes.
Okay, well, the next 5 minutes for photographers, and anyone with goals. I just wanna offer that writing your thoughts down is so key. Like, if you're like, "This is great, Trish,"
Mm,
like, you're talking about talking your thoughts and
yes.
but I'm busy and I've got kids or I'm building this business and then my website crashed and, like, first off, let's acknowledge you're super busy. But 2, I don't think we're ever too busy to take 2 to 3 minutes to journal. And even if your journaling is on a Post-it or in a proper journal, you follow guide, it's being able to see your thoughts. We can't talk back to ourselves. We can't turn up the volume of belief and self-talk, positive self-talk, and turn down the
Mm,
self-doubt unless we actually know what we're thinking. And that just writing a thought down and talking back to it, learning how to talk back to yourself is game changing. And I think
mm,
pen and paper is the easiest way. And I just wanted to offer 2 minutes a day can change your entire level of confidence in how you approach. If you are literally just giving yourself one hype statement per day, that, hey,
Mm,
today I'm moving the needle forward on my business. Things are working today and I'm going to be satisfied with the work well done today. No matter what, because we got to focus on what's in our control. As long
mm,
as you stay with what's in
yeah.
your control, we can't get somebody to say yes to us. Right? We can't get people to comment on our TikToks. Like we just
Yeah.
have to say, this is it. We look back and go, did I move the needle? Did I take confident, consistent action on what was in my control? And if so,
Mm,
we need to self-validate. We need to go, hell yeah. Look at us. Well done. I am moving my business forward. Now, the problem is we want to be able to say, I'm moving my business forward, and we want to have evidence from other people that are telling us that they're buying from us.
yeah.
But just to be able to say, as long as you are doing the controllables and you're
Mm,
continually saying, is there a way I can improve? Or is there a reason? Was maybe my hook on that email not enough that somebody clicked the button to maybe set up a shoot with me? Like, how can I say it differently
yeah.
so it resonates better? And that
Mm,
changes everything.
yep. Yeah. I love that. Yeah, and I definitely for me personally, like, I know I need to do the journaling or, like, the writing things down, and sometimes I'm just like, "Ugh, just do it."
Right? Well, that's why I was like, I say 2 minutes, just do 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Put a
No,
timer
that's
on
good.
2 minutes. That
I
way
should
you're
set my alarm and do that each day.
that's 100% it. Yes.
Yeah. So do you think it's best to do that at the beginning of your workday or the end of
It's a
your work?
great question. I actually believe in both, but I would say if you had to pick one, absolutely the beginning. In fact, so much
Mm,
so I have an
I think
Amazon
that's doable.
I have a journal that I sell on Amazon called the 2-minute journal, and it asks you
Mm,
the 3 questions that you need to answer in the day. Boom.
mm,
And then I would say once you master that beginning, then you can add nighttime journal. You can add, like,
m'kay.
I do a 3-minute journal at night. I tell people 2-minute journal in the morning, 3-minute journal at night. Because if in the morning, you're like, I don't have time. You're like, okay, let's call ourselves out for lying to ourselves because that's just not true. You have 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So put the pen and paper next to the coffee pot and like just say,
Yeah.
like, if I want to elevate my business, if I want to make more money, what if it truly just required thinking better? And what if thinking better only simply took 2 minutes a day?
Mm,
Am I willing to do that for my business? And I would say yes.
yeah. No, that's good. You
Yeah.
also have a freebie that you're gonna give to listeners. Let's
I
talk about that a little
do.
bit. So speaking of
Yes.
pen and paper,
That is
so
actually, it's the nighttime 3-minute thing.
yes, the
So
333 method. Tell us about it.
yes. So, okay. So this is a 3-minute. So it's a one-page worksheet you can download. And by the way, you can use the worksheet or you can learn how to do it. I think I've included like a quick 3-minute video of how to use it. And then you could do it in your workbook. You can do it on your phone. You can do it, or you can use the worksheets. Totally up to you. But it's at the end of the day, you're going to ask yourself, what are my, put a timer on 3 minutes, 3 gratitudes from the day, 3 wins from the day, and 3 wins for tomorrow. And then the 3 wins from the day, what it's going to do is help you as a business owner see and give yourself credit for, wait, I did move projects forward today. Look at me go.
Mhm.
Because if you start seeing that you're winning at business, you will start seeing that your wins accumulate. Wins create wins, which creates momentum. Very DJ Khaled. I'm aging myself, but all I do is win. You go and you go, okay, because that's what we're
I love
setting.
it.
We're setting that, like,
That should be
I'm
your
a
hype
badass at
song every
business.
morning.
Yes. And and then what you're doing too, the second part of that 333 method is to set 3 wins for the next day. And what you're doing there is you're going like, tomorrow I've already won. What I
Mm,
like about that is that you are, in order to just set your 3 wins for the next day, you're essentially saying, what are my top 3 priorities? If I could do nothing else but
mhm.
3 things. And that keeps us as business owners out of overwhelm. Because if you don't
Yeah.
plan your priorities, they end up being done randomly. Or we say we have
Mhm.
12 priorities. And if you have more than 3 priorities, you have none. Right. And so we can sabotage our confidence by feeling like we're too spread thin. So setting your priorities the night before changes everything.
Mm,
And you show up the next day at your whatever your office hours are for your business, and you're like, I got this. You start
mm.
immediately with those 3 wins.
You're calling me out because that's something I keep telling myself to do, and I haven't actually, like, moved and done it, and I feel like I could get more done before that time of day where I get the busiest with my kids, and I'm
Yes.
like, "I didn't get anything done."
Yes. Well, I have a
So
free download for you, my friend.
I
That
love
will
it.
help. And then I'll just personally say I'll send you a link to the 2-minute journal. But yeah,
Yeah,
just simplify,
put
especially
that in
with
the
kids.
show
Girl,
notes.
I'm in the weeds there too. You just
Yeah.
go, this is I'm gonna make it so if this is the difference between my business being 3 times or 4 times what it could be, I'm willing to do it.
Mm, yeah, for sure. Well, Trish, I hate to end this, but Where
Oh,
can
that's
we find
fun.
more? Where can we
You
find
can
more?
find more. Well, if you're a podcast listener, which we know you are, come check out my podcast. It's called The Confidence Podcast. So that is anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can also check out trishblackwell.com, or if you want to work your confidence, collegeofconfidence.com. Of course, get the freebie. Let me get my worksheet, the 333 method. You can get that at trishblackwell.com/ easy to remember /333. Super simple.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, if you want to find the Cameras and Coffee podcast, you can find us on the web at karahainesphotography.com/podcast, or you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Cameras and Coffee Podcast. Also, don't forget to leave a review. I'm mentioning that.
Do it.
Add to the podcast. This is a free episode. There are no ads. So please head over if you enjoyed the show, enjoyed all this content. Leave a review so others can find us as well. Trish, thank you so much for coming. I'm gonna have to keep re-listening to this episode.
Garrett, thank you. I'm excited to be connected. I feel like I have a new friend.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Well, friends, until next time, cheers.